What is going on, everybody? Back with another video. And today I want to talk about this PlayStation security vulnerability, PlayStation accounts hack situation. Colin Moriarty and I think others may have dealt with this as well. And I want to talk about this because I don't think this is something that's bigger than what people are making it out to be. No, I'm not saying that his stuff did not get hacked or he was a part of a phishing operation or anything like that. I'm not saying that didn't happen. But what I'm saying is this is nothing like what it was based on other situations with PlayStation, because PlayStation had a lot of issues when it comes to security or whatnot. I don't think this is something on their end. Based on what I've been looking at, it looks like you're just going to have to protect yourself and protect your information. I was looking at this article off of gamerrant.com, and I've been looking at some stuff on X, and I'm like, all right, what is going on here? So long story short, new user came in and took Colin Moriarty information, and he went to PlayStation and said that there was an issue, and he was able to get that account based on a few things. Basically, what they did was they had like some transaction ID, or they had other verifiable pieces of information, maybe like the last four digits of his credit card or something like that. Something happened and they were able to flip his account to theirs. Some people are saying it's an inside job or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, I don't think this is something that PlayStation has like a vulnerability issue within their system. I just think they may have some people that are working there not necessarily following protocol, or their protocol is just what it is, where if you want to get your account back, you just need these pieces of information. Now, this is what I would say. Your PlayStation ID is going to be out there, but whatever other verifiable transaction in identification, that stuff needs to be under wraps. Nobody should be able to get those type of things. The last four digits of your credit card or your credit card in general, no one should be able to get those things. So for you not to be a victim of this, find a way to not be in this situation. That's basically what I would say, because stuff like this could happen, and then you're in a messed up situation, and then your account is gone, because that's basically what you can do to protect yourself. Now, as far as what Sony needs to do, Sony needs to find a way to not to have this to be an issue, so somebody could flip somebody else's account. This is not an issue where, from what I see, I'm not going to say that it is 100%, but this is not an issue where that Sony just have to step up their security. I just need to set up the customer service policy to where, hey, this needs to be fixed, because it doesn't matter if somebody comes in and say, hey, something's going on with this. I need to figure out how to, fix my account or whatever. And then the account get flipped and it goes beyond, you know, enabling two-factor authentication. They can even get past that. So that is something that, they need to really look into this, to the point where, hey, if your account is compromised and somebody may be impersonating, or even if you're trying to call in to actually get your account back, or something's going on, there should be other ways around verifying who you are, outside of getting some transaction IDs or anything like that, or getting the last four digits of your, of your credit card. Because those things, I'm not saying they're easily to obtain, but it should be a more of a personal type of thing. Because I know like other places, like let's say if you missed a password or something, they'll ask you questions that are like, that are personal to you, that you put in the system, that only you would know. Now, I'm not saying that, necessarily putting it in their system would be even better, because look, they got the transaction ID and the credit card information or whatever, based on what Colin Moriarty's saying. But what I'm saying is, it has to be something more than that. Probably something that's, that they don't have a hold of or something. Like this is another thing. Like usually when stuff like this happens, they should do a very easy fix where they will send you a code to your phone. I mean, I know a lot of places do that now. I know Microsoft do it. They have all these authenticator apps and all this other stuff, where stuff comes to your phone. Like, say, if somebody's trying to do something to your account, they will send you a code to your actual cell phone, and then that's how you get the verify. That's probably like one of the best ways to prevent this situation. But all in all, you guys, anybody who's out here playing games, or have any of this stuff, You're a gamer, obviously. Game is one of the biggest things out right now. What I'm saying is any verifiable transaction identification, keep that stuff under wraps, because I don't think Sony's going to do anything to fix this. Because from based on what I see, this looks like this is a one off, and if a lot of people say something about it, maybe they'll do something. But if this is like the only thing, or maybe a few other people have dealt with this, it's probably going to like, look, you're going to have to find a way to get your account back through customer service, or you need to find a way to not have your ID information out there like that. And that's basically what it looks like. That's what the case is. So at the end of the day, I don't see. I'm not going to say this is a nothing burger. I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is, like, this is not a really big deal based on other situations Sony had to deal with. Because Sony, their whole infrastructure went down back in 2011. They've had other issues going on since then. They had a lot of DDoS attacks. They had a lot of PlayStation networks being down. When your information is being flipped like this, I'm not saying that, this is 100% on, whoever's fault it is, because you don't expect this type of stuff to get out. You just have to keep it on the wraps a little bit better. But I don't think this is something that's necessarily, oh, Sony is having a problem with their situation where it's being hacked. I think if anything, they need to get their customer service together. Their customer service is like out of whack. If they were able to flip somebody's account to theirs just like that, based on these few little pieces of information that they had. I think this is something that they need to fix. Absolutely. There's no way around that. But I do think that, just keep your stuff on the wraps. And if anything, hopefully Sony could do something to where any information that needs to be flipped or changed on your account, they need to send a code to your cell phone or whatever other device that that you have on hand. So if somebody, let's say overseas, is trying to get your account, they're not going to have, they're not going to have your cell phone. They're not going to have your laptop. They're not going to have any, device that's close to you, and they can verify through that, compared to just saying, "Hey, I got this ID," and or whatever the case may be. So, with that being said, you guys let me know what you think. Do you think that this is kind of a one off? Do you think this is something serious? Do you think this is something that actually could be prevented if you just, keep a track of what you're doing or whatever the case may be? If it was up to me personally, I would just buy all of my games physical. But we don't live in that day and age, because buying games digital, this way you get your account situation online in some cases. If you buy digital games, you got to use something, right? But if you got physical games, you don't have to deal with that. But hey, we don't live in that world no more. Everybody, for the most part, is doing digital games. So, with that being said, I'm gonna get up out of here. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, y'all. Peace.